this year for the holidays?
No, I'm not, Shane. No, I'm not.
Neither am I.
All right, good. Well, segment over. Just kidding. If you are, we have some ideas. The food and the presents get all the love, of course, but you can make some celebrations stand out with a few touches of greenery and some flowers and some Dale K in your house.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Order it up.
Here's Garden Guy Dale K. You got some green things. Something we don't see outside right now.
Right, exactly. Well, it's almost kind of like springish outside.
It's kind of, yeah. I mean, it'll be wet and warm.
Are our tulips going to start coming up? Are they confused enough?
They might be getting confused. Across on this side of the table in front of you, Shane, some pretty kind of normal or traditional centerpieces. A lot of times a lot of evergreen branches, maybe even fresh flowers. But this morning, we're going to change it up just a little bit and actually create a living centerpiece so it kind of continues to grow and can last throughout the throughout numerous seasons rather than just for the holidays. Because that, of course, the evergreen
like this
branches,
bad boy.
yeah, and then even the poinsettia, all that kind of cut flowers kind of ends kind of quick. So, of course, the food is always going to be the star of the table, but that doesn't mean that you can't, you know, have a pretty table, because a lot of times that might mask what's going on with the food too, right? You know,
it's true. So, if you've got a dish that you're not super proud of, just put it behind the flowers. It'll be fine.
Exactly. So, a couple of things to consider when creating centerpieces. Firstly, you want to consider the table, the shape of the table. You know, square, rectangle, round, all those sort of good things, and that'll help guide you to as far as the container. I have a little round barrel table, so I'm going to use a round pot that's quite low, being that the food for the holidays, and of course centerpieces are all different. There's centerpieces for weddings. All the criteria or the rules of thumb kind of vary a little bit, but for a holiday table you want something that's relatively low, maybe not more than 12 inches tall, because you want to make sure that, of course, the food is a star.
Unless
and you can
don't want to talk to that person across the table.
There's that.
Okay, so there's all those kind of...
It's right here. There we go. Okay, so Shane's not here.
There's all those little nuances that play into it, but I'm going to keep this one quite short because of letting the food be the star and then seeing all the guests as well. Then, of course, comes the variety of plants that you can incorporate into your living centerpiece. And living, all these plants are alive. They're not cut branches, they're not cut flowers, they're all rooted, and they'll all kind of keep growing. So, flowering, there's anthuriums, African violets, holiday cactus, all sorts of fun little flowering plants. This one here in front is kind of a cool little plant. I'll just pop them up there.
Berries.
Yeah, it's actually, it's called the real name is Gaultheria, or American wintergreen.
These are my favorite things.
Yeah, they're actually kind of cool.
You say it and then I read it and I'm like, okay, yeah, now I got you. Because you say a whole bunch of letters in a word, I'm like, I don't know what any of that says or means.
Yeah, that's like when you start talking about clouds and
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I know.
That's fair. I'll start spelling it for you.
Yeah, it's either just going to rain or it ain't going to rain.
Yeah, fair enough.
The really cool thing about this is it's actually kind of a little native. The berries are edible, so you don't have to worry about them being toxic. Oh. But if you actually grab one and squeeze it,
we'll let you do that, Dale.
Get one and squeeze it. It's kind of like white in there, and it's kind of juicy, and it looks just like snow.
What does it taste like?
Kind of does.
It kind of has like a pepperminty, spearminty flavor to it. That's why it gets that wintergreen common name.
Sure.
But if you're missing snow, well, there it is. It's in the berry right there.
I don't think anyone's missing snow that much,
Cody.
but okay.
All right, so a little bit of potting soil goes into the pot, and not all soils are created equal.
You want indoor,
so make sure you use a good quality indoor potting soil. That goes in there. Sometimes it helps to pre-water before you plant. That way you're not watering this big dish. I'm going to pop this little rosemary right in here. It's going to give some great kind of aromatics to the table.
Rip off a little and season your food if it needs it.
There you go. Sure. Exactly. Use a couple of these. And because I've got a round table, I'm going to kind of make sure that it's kind of balanced, so it kind of goes all the way. It kind of looks the same.
I didn't think about that, having
sides.
you need all sides to shine. You can't just bury some stuff in the back. That's a little more challenging, Dale.
Okay. There we go. We'll pop that in just like that. And I think we'll probably...
What else are you going to do?
I'm going to put a little foliage to balance out this other side.
What is happening with this one?
That's called frosty fern. It's actually
cute.
It's actually kind of like it's like a little ground cover sedge almost that you can pop that in, and then I'm just going to pop some poinsettias in here.
Does it matter, like the types of flowers and like
Not really. It's really whatever your decor is, and that's really like the fun part of it is you can go to your favorite local garden shop and kind of just potter around, you know, smell everything, kind of look at everything, think of your decor, and then you can kind of pick your arrangements from there. And the great thing about this is most of the, actually really all of this will last a lot longer than just the holiday season. You can even take the poinsettias out, maybe put some cyclamen in there for like a winter display. Your creativity is really up to you as far as...
So you kind of mentioned it already, the berries on that particular one are not poisonous. So for folks with little kids and dogs and pets and the whole thing, I know poinsettias are really poisonous for animals.
Right.
Is there anything else on here that's poisonous?
Not really like super poisonous, but I wouldn't use anything that is obviously poisonous on the table.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we're good here other than poinsettias.
We're all good here.
Okay.
So this is good to go.
Okay.
And then of course we're approaching winter solstice. Isn't that like the Thursday? Yeah. The darkest day of the year.
Indeed.
So you can always light up your centerpiece too.
Ooh,
there's like these little battery operated lights that I can kind of intertwine in and amongst the centerpiece, so you can actually light up your centerpiece and it'll be
suddenly it's holiday decoration.
A little bit less dreary.
Love it.
Than cold, wet, or whatever we're about to go through.
All the things
on Christmas Day, and then I'm just going to touch it up at the end with a little bit of reindeer moss, and that's going to kind of just give it a little bit of a holiday feel. We're just going to tuck.
You keep tucking, Dale. We're running out of time here, buddy.
There we go.
But I like it.
We call that fungus, but it's moss.
It's moss. It's not fungus.
Dale K, we love it. You're very talented.
Moss.
Every time
fungus.
I'm amazed how quickly he does this stuff.
I know it is.